So I was wondering why Narendra Modi keeps winning elections and why is he still in his third term our prime minister? And what makes Narendra Modi the most capable political leader in India to be our prime minister, even including people from his own political party? Why is Narendra Modi uh, the Prime Minister of India? That's the question that we're going to address. This is from the perspective of a citizen. This is from the perspective of a person who admires his courage and his dedication towards the country. And unlike some people who obviously claim that they are highly dedicated towards their country, but their country is Italy, not India anyway. Then the next thing is also why we are going to talk about why Narendra Modi is the leader that we need, or is the kind of leader that we need for another 20 to 30 years in the future if we want to see the 2047 developed India dream come true. Why we need that kind of leader in India for another three, maybe even longer time, another 3 decades, maybe even longer. So that's what we're going to see today. And this is, as I said, from the perspective of a citizen and a Gen Z, a young Indian who has interest in politics and has seen Indian politics since Narendra Modi's arrival in it. So how I got to know about him, how as a 8-year-old or 9-year-old, I guess, I learned about Narendra Modi. He was then he was then the chief minister of Gujarat. There was a flash flood in Uttarakhand in 2013, and so what I remember is, because he was a Gujarati chief minister, of course he had made Gujarat much richer, especially after what happened in Gujarat after the earthquake. And so he had taken the lead, and he was trying to make his state nice. And in that process, he had made it rather rich. So in 2013, after Uttarakhand flash flood, what he did, so he evacuated Gujarati citizens from who were stuck in hotels, and he took them who were stuck in hotels using choppers, and so other states weren't able to do that. It was his state which was able to afford to use choppers to evacuate Gujarati citizens out of out of wherever they were stuck. And this was similar to what now India does internationally whenever our citizens are stuck anywhere in any conflict zone of the world. And that's typical Narendra Modi. And of course, as a young child who is like in Uttarakhand, I'm from Uttarakhand, so I observed what amount of devastation was going on, and how state government and country's government is worried about the amount of deaths which are happening, and there is no control of it. And there comes this guy who so this guy has such calm demeanor. He's able to achieve this, which other states weren't, and this kind of attracted me towards him. Then the following year, or the same year, probably towards the end of the year, he was announced as BJP's prime ministerial candidate. And my school, I remember, we used to have the time between our classes. In that, we used to kind of do slogans of sorts, and we used to support Narendra Modi. We used to say that line, "Hum Modi ji ko lane wale hain, achhe din aane wale," like that. There was a really, so for a child who has seen Narendra Modi since the very beginning of his term, I have anything. I have all respect in my heart for him, because I've seen the image of India change in the eyes of Indians. I've seen many competent and accomplished Indian people return back to serve their country. Not all, yes, and many have left too, but they used to leave anyway. But many of them are not leaving now. Many of them are coming back now because they see opportunity in India as well. And I've seen India's image change in the eyes of the world. I have not seen people so obsessed about Indian food, so obsessed about Indian culture, trying to see, and this is important, trying to see the other side of India for themselves. Because it was typical of every foreigner to just want to see the typical sides which were displayed by Indians and by the world media to the world for some reason, I don't know, showing only the poor sides, showing only the dirty sides. But now, because we are proud of our culture, thanks to this amazing guy, He has made us realize that we have to be proud of our own culture first. Then the world will see why it is valuable, why it needs to be why it needs to be respected. And that's exactly what happened. We started respecting our culture. We started taking pride in our Hindu civilizational traits, and the world started seeing it as a good thing as well. The world started observing the good things in it as well, and that's how he changed India's image in the eyes of the world. I'm not saying this is, I mean, how is, so people who are haters will obviously say, how is this going to change the conditions in our country? Well, listen to this now. He has changed the conditions in our country. We are after 70 years of our development, after 70 years of India's independence, we have finally started talking about development. Before that, it was all about mehengai. It was always about that, corruption. It was always about such things. But now it's finally about development. We are talking about infrastructure projects. We're talking about space missions. We're talking about medicine. We're talking about production. We're talking about agricultural reforms, and we're talking about many things. But the previous government talked about quote unquote Hindu rate of growth. That is what they wanted the world to see Hinduism as. And again, in that process, they were hurting my country. They were not hurting their country because they don't seem to have any allegiance towards India anyway. But they were hurting my country. They were hurting your country, you Indian people, you Bharatiya people. They were hurting your interests. They were keeping you from achieving your true potential in the front of this world, in front of yourself. And that's what Narendra Modi has changed for us. That's why we have, this intellectual culture of questioning has come back. They wanted this colonial mentality was, it was lingering still in our minds. They wanted us to keep stuck there. They wanted to make us silent listeners. They wanted us to not question whatever was served to us, whatever way it was served to us. So the Marxists destroyed our history, they destroyed our textbooks, they destroyed our culture, they rebuked our culture, and that changed after he came to power. Why would I, a normal Indian citizen, not like him? One of the biggest problems with the people who are in the Indie Alliance lobby, they think that by talking about insanely high idealistic principles and in the process demeaning people's very close culture, they're going to somehow make people love them. That's not how psyche works. Somehow, this needs to be seen by Pappu, that it is not how people work. People love their country. You have no idea. When you might not have read this, but after French Revolution, when people were when these or after, no, it was after Russian Revolution, I guess. Yes, after Russian Revolution, when the Bolsheviks were trying to get workers of the entire world in their favor, and they thought that the workers will keep their worker interest above their nationalistic interests. They were entirely wrong, and they were proven wrong. When the workers were, yes, they were under pressure. Yes, workers were deprived of basic necessities. But even then, they sided with their nation, because nationalism is a very powerful feeling. And idiotism as Marxism, and idiotism as liberalism, internationalism, these idealistic things don't work for a normal Indian citizen. What works for an Indian citizen, what works for any citizen of any nation, is glory of culture, glory of what the people of this country see as their culture. We don't see murdering quote-unquote infidels as our culture. We see debating and finding the middle path, finding the intermediate path. That is what Gautam Buddha has taught us as our culture. We see pilgrimage as our culture. We see devotion, selflessness, seeing the entire world as part of our family. We see respecting our foreigners, hospitality as our culture. We don't see using sickle and hammer flags to do rebellions every Tuesday as our culture. It is not our culture. We are industrious people. We know hard work is the key to success. We know hard work is the way the life is supposed to be. And if someone does not want to do physical work, then intellectual work. If they don't want to do intellectual work, then they can go ahead and do whatever they like. But everyone has to contribute to the society in some way or the other, and they cannot shy away from contributing by saying that I'm suppressed, I'm exploited, I'm all that bullshit. So it's not going to work like that, and Marxists don't realize this. So they might say all they want against Narendra Modi, but Narendra Modi has done more for this country in last 11 years than all the Congress governments did in 55 to 60 years of their rule. And that's why the world respects Narendra Modi. They don't respect Narendra Modi because he is Prime Minister of India. They respect Narendra Modi for the kind of person he is, the kind of politician he is, and how aware of what he's doing. I've seen so many people talk about in random videos, talk about meeting Narendra Modi for the first time and how they were surprised that Narendra Modi knew them, or Narendra Modi knew something about them. I saw that video. I'm from this generation. I saw the video of Narendra Modi meeting gamers, and gamers were trying to teach him vocabulary of our generation, taught him a noob, and of course he made fun of Rahul Gandhi by calling him a noob in politics. It was so funny, and it also shows that Narendra Modi is aware of his works. Narendra Modi is aware of what he's doing. He might be 75. He might have become of a very old age, but he's very progressive and cultural at the same time, and that's a very amazing mix. So you are not so conservative, so hardwired in your ways that you don't want to change whatsoever, but you are also not too progressive that you completely abandon the basic principles of your civilization that make you unique. That's what the Congress wants you to do. They always, and I don't know, maybe this is just me, but why do they always come up with that red colored constitution? Our constitution is it could have been blue. It could have been blue is our national color anyway, navy blue. Our constitution book could have been blue in color, but they come out with red color. Maybe it is because it is available in red color or anything, whatever. It could be that. But my supposition is that they love the red color so much because of their Marxist ideology that they cannot do away with it. It's just their love for the red color and the Marxist way of life that they are doing this. Also, someone needs to tell the opposition that if they did their job the right way, then maybe this government could have been tackled, and they completely messed up in their job, which is why this government is in power.